Hello there. What's going on, everybody? I am pleased to be able to announce today that this is the introductory episode of A Forgotten Dream. What exactly is A Forgotten Dream? Well, it's sort of an interactive narrative RPG experience that you will be able to participate in, as well as patrons on Patreon will also have a much more significant role, but everyone has a role to play that you can play along and watch the story unfold. So we're going to be using a little bit of a narrative system kind of based on the Star Wars RPG, but without the dice rolling and focusing a little bit more on the story. If you guys are new here, don't forget there's always time left to enter to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. Those are running all the time. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to detail a little bit more about how you actually play along and how you can influence the story. But for now, let's go ahead and introduce you to A Forgotten Dream, Chapter 1. Prisoners!
Dreams. Your dreams have always taken you to space. But not this time. This time, the group dreams together. Only it's not a dream. You've all been taken aboard an Imperial Raider. The group is led by Sori, a Terraskasi master, brilliant genius, an expert engineer. Her specialty are engines, and she is a force to be reckoned with. There's also Lobo, the brute, a mighty Dawutan who never lets his little squirrel stay behind. Squee always accompanies him. He's also a master with explosives. Oh yes, there are twin clones, Greasy and Chunk. Greasy on the right, the pilot of the operation. Chunk, the marksman on the left, who never misses a shot. He has started to let himself go a little bit, though. Barely fits into that armor. And Jake, the Rhodian youth, grew up on the streets of Nal Hutta and has always found a way to get in and out of any place undetected. He is very useful for a mission like this. But what was the mission? Everyone's so disoriented. They were stunned. They were set up, and now they're prisoners. They've been ratted out. There must have been an Imperial informant. They remember being transported on board this raider in an Imperial shuttle. But how did it happen? They were sent Ax Loris, their informant in the Disphasia Fabric Company. He was the one who sent them on this mission to Geonosis for Geonosian silk? Wake up, everyone, said Sori, as she's trying to get them all to remember that they're still alive. What happened? Do you remember? I remember stormtroopers just showing up out of nowhere.
I remember, says Lobo. We had just gotten into the main hangar bay. There was supposed to be some silk there. I don't think Dysphasia's really a silk or fabrics company anyway. But you found something, says he points to Chunk in the corner. As everyone looks around the room, they're chained to the wall, unable to move. There's a control panel on the door, as well as a cargo crate. They notice they don't have any of their weapons or gear on them right now. The captain outside, they can be heard talking to a stormtrooper. I don't want any of them harmed. We'll have plenty of questions for this group. We need to know what they found. Our expert investigators on Coruscant will have plenty of questions for them.
But as he walks away, he is quickly replaced by the second in command, Lieutenant Mercilla, who walks in with an entourage of stormtroopers. The captain's gone now. I am second in command. I'm Lieutenant Mercilla, and I will have answers. We won't be waiting until we get to Coruscant. You will tell me what you found. Who sent you to that warehouse? What were you looking for? And most importantly, what did you find? Don't tell him, Jake says as he looks to Chunk. Don't tell him anything.
Don't worry, kid, I won't say nothing.
Oh, you found something, did you? Find out what he found. And with a little bit of resistance, he's clear Chunk wasn't going to say anything. And a blaster bolt between the eyes puts him straight down. No, says Jake. What have you done to my friend? Well, if he wouldn't talk, maybe you will. Suddenly, Jake is overwhelmed with a force that he cannot explain. He's never felt this before. Some kind of energy field, and it rages within him and explodes, knocking down two of the stormtroopers, plastering them against the wall. They're unconscious, laying on the floor. Jake doesn't know what happened.
What is this sorcery? Jedi? Impossible!
What have you done? Jake says, and BAM! With a blaster bolt right between the eyes, Marcilla pulls her sidearm and silences Jake. He lay now dead on the floor. The rest of the group is screaming with anguish but unable to move. Their shackles still pin them to the wall. What have you done?
I'll have answers. We'll kill every one of you.
But suddenly, a red light turns on as the ship rocks back and forth.
Lieutenant Marcilla!
Captain Gant stands in the doorway.
I told you none were to be harmed. What have you done?
They assaulted us. One was a Jedi. We had no choice.
Quickly, you're needed on the bridge. We're under attack.
As they drag the corpses out, Marcilla looks back to the group.
I'm not finished with you yet. Once we deal with this,
I'll be back for you. And the force field slams beside her after she leaves. The group notices quickly that somehow the power is fluctuating. The ship seems to be under attack, and your magna cuffs are not quite as strong as they were. We're free to move about. And quickly, Sori jumps to the control panel, trying to see if she can do something to get the group some more information. And as she's typing away, some of the stormtroopers notice,
hey, what's going on there?
He deactivates the door and steps in, blaster leveled at the group.
You step away from that control panel. Why aren't your cuffs working? Hey, TK423, get in here. I need some help. And I need some help. Boom! All of a sudden, explosions right where the stormtrooper stood. The explosion's going crazy. The ship is now spinning. You can barely stand in control. And quickly, Lobo goes over to the supply crate. Was able to recover some of the weapons and gear from the group. And now all of a sudden, you see stormtroopers dead in the hallway. A droid. The force field is now deactivated. The group can finally escape, but more explosions now within the brig that's behind you. Clearly, the group has to leave. It's unclear exactly what their path must be, whether it's to an escape pod, whether it's to the bridge, to the engine room, or to try to find their fallen comrades. What is next for our group of heroes?
All right, so thanks for sticking around this long. Now, you're probably wondering, well, where do we come in? Where can each of you participate? Well, this is where it comes to play. You are now going to have the opportunity to influence what happens next in the story. There's a couple of ways you can do that. This is going to run for a little bit of time. I'm looking at doing probably a month in between chapters at first, possibly only 2 weeks in between chapters as this progresses, so stay tuned for that. I will put all of these in a playlist as well. The ways you can vote is basically talking about what you think should happen. Specifically focus on a character. Maybe you want Sori to do exploring. Maybe you want Sori to try to repair the engines. Maybe you want Sori to to turn against everybody and be all about herself. Maybe you want Lobo to try and smash panels and or try to steal some equipment. Maybe whatever it is that you want. You've got Greasy, Lobo, and Sori that are still alive right now, but we may meet more characters as well. But those are the 3 characters that you can influence. So what I'm looking for is good suggestions. Over the course of the next week, what's going to happen is I'm going to pick some of the best suggestions that have the most likes are very good candidates, and those are going to go into polls over on Patreon. All right, I'm also going to be introducing a new tier on Patreon at $3 a month called the RPG tier. That is going to get you access to all of the lower levels below that, but also it's going to give you the ability to vote in polls specifically for this particular RPG. Now, you're not going to be able to vote in them directly if you're not a patron, but you still get to contribute. You still get to put out good suggestions. The better the suggestions are, the more likely they are to end up in the poll. then again, patrons $3 a month or more will be able to vote on that. Patrons at higher tiers are also going to have some additional bonuses and benefits. They are, $10 a month patrons are going to be able to have their own, character names put into the campaign, and $25 a month patrons are going to have some even more special stuff that I'll be talking about on Patreon. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that as this progresses. But for right now, there's a new tier. If you want to support the channel at $3 a month, it's also going to gain you access to voting in the polls and having a more direct impact. There are also going to be additional options for patrons to be able to submit their own options. Like if they like, I don't like any of those suggestions. I think Greasy should go crazy and try to carry around like the corpse of his friend, for the rest of the story, or something crazy like that. That could potentially make it into the vote and see if it gets voted on as well. So if you want to vote, that's the way to do it. But other than that, thank you for sticking around. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear some suggestions. Let me know some of your plot points that you want to see happen, some direction that you want some of these characters to take. How do you think they should get off of this Imperial Raider that's exploding around them? All right, guys, that's all I've got. I want to thank you so much. And until next time, may the Force be with you.